Բաքսի, ուրեմն իդեալ։ Փոխարինեք ձեր 5-ացան Բաքսի Eco 4S կեր ժամանակակից կաթսայով։ Մանրամասները easier-system.am.
Head of the European mission in Armenia, Markus Ritter, will sit down with the first analytical tonight. Mr. Ritter, thank you for this opportunity.
It's a pleasure.
EUMA has played a major role since day one in a non-repetition of aggression of September 2020. Would you say that your major achievement since your deployment has been the prevention of war?
Yeah, you can say that since our stay here and since the mission was launched in February 2023, the number of incidents alongside the border and the line of control significantly decreased. We know through our patrols alongside this line of confrontation that it's more calm now than before, so that means also there is no war, and maybe that was also an impact we have had by our presence there. It's our main task to show flag, to calm down the situation by our presence, and I think this is something we managed to do.
Despite EUMA's critical role in regional stability, EUMA is often the target for accusations from two capitals, namely Moscow and Baku. Recently, the Russian envoy to Armenia, even went as far as to say that EUMA gathers intelligence, quote-unquote, against Moscow, Baku and Iran, rather than monitor the situation on the border. How would you respond to these allegations? Do they hold water?
No, I can clearly say we have no hidden agenda. We have 3 lines of operations, 3 tasks why we are here. By patrolling alongside the border and the line of confrontation, and by showing flag, we contribute to calming down the situation, to avoid tensions. The second is by visiting regularly the people in the little villages, farms and towns in the conflict-affected area on the Armenian side. We try to bring some hope and trust to these people, that they have the feeling that they are not alone, that the international community is taking care. On the third, by being here, by patrolling, by openly showing flag in this area, we contribute to confidence building. So we don't do anything secretly. When we are patrolling, we are always standing openly, so both sides, the Armenian and the Azeri side, can see us. And we don't do any secret operations. We are a civilian, unarmed mission, and that's what we are.
However, the presidential advisor, Hajiev, basically set a new precondition before the Armenian authorities, saying that the withdrawal of EUMA is necessary. Why do regional powers feel threatened by the presence of a civilian mission?
I have no idea. You have to ask them. I can only stress out that we are no threat to anybody. We are here on an agreement that was done in Prague in 2022 in October, and in those days there was the urgent need for an international mission to come here because the tensions were very high. It was decided that the European Union should do it. That is what we are doing since then. We are no threat to anybody.
Well, you are certainly a very welcome presence in Armenia. What's the communication like with the village population on the border?
We are on a daily basis visiting, as I said, little towns, villages, farms. without announcement. We just go there with our cars that are clearly marked as European Union vehicles with a flag and with a badge. We are stopping where we see people and talk with them. We talk with them to learn how they are feeling, how is the situation from their perspective. And now, having done more than 3,000 patrols since the beginning of the mission, I think we have quite a good picture of what is going on. The people tell us that they're still afraid of a war. They tell us that they don't trust the whole situation, but with us coming there regularly, with us being visible for all the people, we bring some stability and some hope to them. So the overwhelming part of the people we are meeting are highly appreciating that we are here and are welcoming us. And they are also willing to talk with us, and even the famous Armenian hospitalities, they're inviting us to their homes. And we have, I think now, after 1.5 years, a really good approach to the people here, and we understand what are their concerns.
After the delimitation of a small portion of Armenia-Azerbaijan border, Russian presence was removed. Does EUMA have access to all points along the new border now?
Yeah. After the retreat of the Russian border guards in beginning of August, we have now access to all parts of the borderline and the line of confrontation. We have now regularly the possibility to visit Nerkinhand, where we haven't been before. The only limitation we have now is the weather conditions, with the fall coming, with the winter coming, because the European Union mission is trying to reach all positions and all points, and some of them are quite high in remote areas. And this is difficult in winter, but from the authorities here, from the host country, we can reach all points we want to go. We have completely freedom of movement.
You said that now you have a clear picture of what is going on. However, to a distant observer, there are accusations from the defense ministries of both countries. So what is the picture like in reality? Who's saying the truth and who's lying about who's shooting on the border?
A lot of these alleged shootings are happening at night, where we are not out because we cannot observe, we cannot see anything. What we can do is then the next day, when we get notice of this, to go into the area to talk with the Armenian authorities, but also to talk with the people living nearby if they have heard something or whatever. But most of these incidents are happening in a way that we cannot verify it. So not being able to do it, we avoid to make any allegations or to point with the finger of one or to the other side, because both sides are saying that the other side is shooting at them. We had some incidents where we could verify that something was happening, but that is what we can verify. We can verify that something was happening. We don't report, or we don't make public which side began or who was shooting back. This is a part of our impartiality. So we don't want to take the view of one side. So where it's not clear what's happening, we are avoiding it. So most of the incidents that are now reported during night, we cannot verify, we cannot testify, it is not possible for us to report on this.
In the beginning, the idea was to have a mission both in Armenia and in Azerbaijan, but Azerbaijan refused. How does having a mission only in Armenia make your job more difficult? And how would it make it, on the other hand, it easier for you if you had a mission on Azerbaijani side as well? A tentative question, but still.
Yeah, well, that's what I just said. If there are alleged shooting incidents, at the moment we can only ask the Armenian side. What happened? What was it? Have people been injured, killed, or whatever? How does it happen? It would be much easier for us if we could approach both sides and ask them what was it all about, what happened, and to see both sides, to hear both sides, and to be able to see both points of view. So it is always difficult if you are an impartial mission who has to calm down the situation between two conflict parties if you only can go on one side of the conflict, on one side of the conflict parties, and only see the conflict on one side. It would be much more giving the whole picture if we would be able also to patrol on the Azeri side and talk with the Azeri people and the Azerbaijani authorities.
The end of the 2-year mandate is nearing. Is there a preliminary agreement between the Armenian government and the EU mission to extend the term or to expand the mandate?
At the moment, we are preparing a strategic review. That means at the end of this 2 years mandate, we want to see what worked well, what not so well, what has been planned wise, what not, what should be changed, and that will be done by a fact-finding mission coming from Brussels. They are also talking with our host authorities here in Yerevan, and they will discuss the question, because it's a political question. Should the mission continue or not? Is it the wish, the will from the government and from the people here? For me, it looks like there is the consensus that we should stay, but this has to be decided politically. For sure, on the European side in Brussels, they see this mission as a success because we are contributing to the stability here, and the chance from that there will be a second mandate from the European side, I think that's a quite realistic chance.
In what ways can your mandate be expanded? For example, the Armenian side suggested a bilateral mechanism of monitoring ceasefire breach. Clara welcomed the initiative. Can this become part of your functions? Do you have tools that you haven't used yet, but you could?
No, we don't have tools we have not used yet. Somebody has to give us the tools. So this is a decision that has to be done and negotiated between Armenia and Brussels. And theoretically, a lot of things are possible. That depends on the political will and on the negotiation between Armenia as our host country and Brussels. And I'm only executing the will that is then done by the new mandate. And if there are new tools included, I will do this.
Patrolling is not exactly a very safe job, but we have seen diplomats, ambassadors join you, even those from countries that were not EU members. Why?
First, yes, patrolling generally is not maybe a secure, a safe thing, but I have also to stress here that now, since we are here, we never have been threatened by the Azerbaijani side. We had never incidents where somebody was shooting at us, something like this. So we don't feel every day being in danger or something. We know it is a risky area because it's a kind of frozen conflict. The ambassadors who are visiting us, most of them are from the European countries. They want to visit their staff inside my mission. I have now mission members. You know, we have 27 member states in the European Union. I have now mission members from 24 of these states and also 1 Canadian. So that means 24 politicians at home or ambassadors here are interested to see their people. They also want to know how are the working conditions, whatever. But also being a new mission and with the European Union supporting the peace negotiations, there is a huge political interest to be here. So they want to see what is going on, and so that they can report to the capitals at home how is the situation. So this supports the peace process, because with this And this is one of our tasks, to be the eyes and the ears of the European Union in this peace process. They get a realistic picture of what is going on here. Then we have other states who are interested in the mission because they think, even though not being a European Union member state, that this is a good institution and it helps a lot. They want to have stability, and they know that the European Union, as I said before, has no hidden agenda or something like this. So they are supporting somehow the idea, and that's also why they want to come and to see what's going on. And for me, it is a good tool, because if you are in a conflict zone and the conflict parties realize that it's not only the international monitors who are observing and patrolling, but also representatives from the member states are coming, that means there's a public interest. So that makes it also more difficult for one or the other side to start something, because they know this will be known immediately. And if the soldiers on both sides of the conflict line see that there are a lot of visitors coming, that there is an interest in the mission, that helps also the mission itself, because then we get some more power behind it. You know, they know that really the member states are behind us and helping. That helps me a lot.
Are there any non-member states of the EU, for example the UK, that might be interested in joining the mission?
What we have at the moment is we have one from Canada. Canada, they joined the mission as a third contributing state in May, and there are some ideas that in nearer future maybe Norway will also join, but that's at the moment. This mission, when it was decided in early 2003, it was also decided that it is generally open to third contributing states. So that means it's now on whoever is coming and visiting us to decide, oh, that might be something we want to participate or not. So we are quite open. There's only one restriction, and that is for all European Union missions. We don't take third contributing states who are neighboring countries of the conflict zone, because they are more involved in the conflict. But with Canada, with Norway, this is quite easy, because it's not a question.
Last but not least, what was your vision of Armenia, and how has your perception changed during your stay here? Yeah, Armenia,
I always knew the famous Ararat cognac coming from here. That is something, when I was a young boy and Armenia was still part of the Soviet Union, we had this jokes about Radio Erevan. So this is something that was, then I knew that Armenia has a very old culture and was the first Christian country in the world. And I knew that it is in the Southern Caucasus region. Now coming here to be very open and frankly, it's now my 6th mission in the crisis region. That's the most beautiful country I have been so far. The landscape is marvelous, the old culture. I really like to visit all these old monasteries, and I have been now to so many already, from the north to the south. The people are very, very friendly and very open, and already this is enough for me to try to contribute that this country has a great and peaceful future, a future that the people here want to have, not something that is coming from outside and telling them. And I'm also sure that for Europe as a continent, the culture of Armenia would be an added value.
I'm happy to hear you're enjoying your stay. Thank you one more time.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
The head of the European Union's mission in Armenia, Markus Ritter, sat down with the First Analytical tonight.